Garin Alpine and the British Garin merged to form Tnuat Yovel. For a few years, they were the only Tnuat living in Israel with the new ideals of Habonim Dror. Their Tnuat grew and shrank as more and more people tried out this new form of Hagshama. After 6 years of changing the programming and education of the movement, they finally began to see the fruits of their labor. In 2004, 3 new Tnuat were formed all over Israel. Tnuat Gal B'niyah, or KGB, in Jerusalem, made up of 4 Bogrim from Australia and England. Tnuat Sikh in Haifa, made up of 4 Bogrim from North America. And Tnuat Hamshech in Tel Aviv, made up of 4 Bogrim from North America, Mexico, and Israel. Along with Tnuat Yovel and Migdal Emek, they have formed new Habonim Dror Tnuat Bogrim, or graduate movement. Goulet.
In Israel at the moment, I am Madrich for Greg Futsal in Workshop 54.
Well, right now I am being a member of the Futsal. I am being a member of several Tzvatim in Habonim Dror, and I am trying to be the best person I can be.
We're not living in a kibbutz setting at the moment at all. We're living in a Tnuat 4.
We work under Kupar, obviously. We have an 80% Kupar. That's 80% of all of our income, which is inclusive of things like the wage that we earn, things like sal klita that we've been getting. Different aspects of income that we have go straight into our combined Kupar. 20% goes to a personal account, which is, I guess, a kind of security plan, insurance for us as individuals. I mean, we have a Yom Kutzah once a week. We look at issues which exist within our Kutzah. We look at the educational aspects that we, I guess, that interest us or that are at the forefront of what we want to do. And aside from that, I think it's also about the representation that we have to the world movement, to movements around the world as well.
We have one bank account. We all put our money there, and we use the bank account as we need it. We have a Yom Kutzah, that is 1 day a week we sit together. We have one Madrich, that is Anton from Tnuat Yovel, that comes on Thursdays and runs a pula for us. And we have other activities, like, you know, in the house together, we go out. It's a socialist framework.
זה לא תנועת הקיבוצית החלשה כי השנייה מתה. זה תנועת הקיבוצית החלשה כי אנחנו רוצים עוד כיוון נוסף מעבר לכיוון הקיים, כי אני חושב שמה שקורה בקומונה במגדל העמק מתרחש גם בקיבוץ חצרים, וגם בבניין אליהו, ומתרחש גם בקיבוץ גדולתה. אני בטוח.
I lived on kibbutz for a number of different years, and I knew that wasn't the framework that I wanted, but I wanted a communal lifestyle.
Like living in a kibbutz, you're also isolated from the real Israeli society of what happens in the cities, what happens with the poor people, the poor kids that live in Tachana Merkazit. And when you're living in the city and you see that every day, then you're impregnated by that and you try to change it because it's your environment, really.
And I think that coming back to this difference about reclaiming the land or not, there's an aim of this movement that we're in today, to change society and work in society, which is a different assessment of the needs of the community.
We're working on our communal life together, but also being able to affect those around us and being able to be a part of the community and be that type of dugma, whether it's for, you know, the other like chanichim who come through, whether it's for like the neighbor next door, you know, and making a presence in like the community.
Now we have a country. We don't need to create a country per se, but we need to better society, and that is also one of like a different aim, that by living in the city and not working in the land, but working in the society and working in the community, we're still building the country, but not in the sense of securing the borders or something like that, but we're trying to create a better society.
I think those frameworks are getting set up to make it something that people want to be a part of and feel connected to, which wasn't really the case with the previous education and ideas that were behind the education.
It was a huge step. It was recognition to say that the agricultural kibbutz move is not working for us. We need to take steps to still make ourselves relevant and make Aliyah relevant for us.
That was the big change in the movement, because when I was a younger madriach, right, the identity crisis of the movement was about asking this question, what is it that we're about? And I think now the question is a little bit different. We know what we're about. It's like, do you agree with that? Or should we be actually doing it?
Or how do we do it?
Or how do we do it?
The biggest change is that we started to talk about Aliyah in a way that is tangible to people, instead of this foreign thing that doesn't have any relevance or meaning to people.
What we try to always say is, come and do it your way, but do what you believe in. Don't just say it while you're in the movement. Don't just vote for it at Veidah. Don't just write a proposal. Don't just teach it to your kids in the Machaneh. Do it with your life after you finish in the youth movement.
It's really clear to me how, without not just this Kutzah, but additional Kutzot in Israel, these ideas would and can't keep going. You know, that it doesn't end. It's cycles. You need new people doing new things and keeping the movement flowing. So
that's the biggest strength at the moment of the new Aliyah, is that you've got now, you know, Yovel made the jump 6-7 years ago now and established themselves and worked for years and years believing that there would be more Kutzot, but seeing nothing. And all of a sudden in the last 18 months or so, you've got 3 Kutzot that have come about. So I think that in terms of that trend, there's definite strength with people who want to come either way, because there's always going to be opportunities.
Now that there are more Kutzot, and the people that are living in these Kutzot are taking an ideological decision to take responsibility over the movement and create or try to create a Tnuat Bogrim, that reflects on what the movement is right now, and how whatever happens in the movement affects what happens in the Kutzot. I think we all enjoy it, and like every day we take more and more responsibility, and we try to do more things for the movement, not because it's a job that we get paid for, because it's not that at all. It's because we believe in it, because whatever we do in the movement is something that pays us back with a feeling, not with money. It's what you feel when you see like the results, that like how the movement is developing, how the Chanechim come to Israel and live with more content than when I came to Israel on Tnuat or on workshop.
You know, it's now, I think, probably just a few months before we'll see the next Habonim Dror Kutzah established. There's a strong likelihood that in October this year, 2005, there'll be a new Habonim Dror Kutzah from Uruguay. There is going to be a new kibbutz movement in Israel in our lifetimes. I have no doubt about that anymore. I've been saying it to people for a long time, but always somewhere in my heart there's been a little bit of doubt about whether it's really happening, whether it's really possible that there's going to be a new kibbutz movement. Today there's no doubt, in my mind and my heart, there is a new kibbutz movement, even now. It's just the beginning. It's going to grow and it's going to grow, and in our lifetimes it's going to be something which positively impacts on Israeli society.
היום אומרים דרור העולמי היא התנועה הלא דתית הכי גדולה בעולם.
Ideally for me, I'd like to see real assertion of Habonim Dror as a force in Israeli society. And I mean, if you're talking 10-20 years, I'm talking about political achievement. I'm looking at, if you look at the people within Habonim Dror in Israel today, they're incredibly qualified to do things like work in justice systems and work in political systems that exist in Israel. And I think, ideally for me, what would Tnuat Bogrim be? It could very well be a big political force. It could also be a big force within immigration, assisting Western women, because they'll know it better than some Israelis. You know, if you want the absolute specifics, I think ideally we'd be changing society in every way. And we have to challenge what we're hearing, we have to challenge what the government says, we have to challenge every single aspect that we don't agree with. Because the problem is that the same way that we can be complacent and say we're a Kutzah and not do anything about it, people can do that about Israel and say Israel is Israel, we don't have to do a thing about it because it'll just keep going.
We can be, I think, the force that unites the new kibbutz movement. And this is it. You know, this is an opportunity to be part of something literally so massive, so incredible, that in day-to-day terms we can help the problems of society around us in Israel and at the same time be part of a huge historical experiment in human nature, how can you possibly go to sleep? This is a revolution. This is the most exciting thing. Literally, I said it before and I'll say it again. This is the most exciting experiment in human existence that I know of in the history of humankind. A genuine, honest attempt to take freedom and equality and combine them in a way which no society yet in human existence has succeeded in doing.
So there you have it, straight from the collective mouths of those who formed, changed, and shaped our movement. There's definitely a bright future for Habonim Dror, but it's still up to you. This is our movement, and we have the power to take it anywhere we want. I'm Robert Goulet, and from all of us here at Workshop 54, good night. I love